you hear me now? Yeah, I hear you. Volume good? Yep.
Think you're gonna need tires, dude. Come back over here.
We're here at ASD in Charlotte. Yeah, I mean, it's been a really busy off-season. Obviously, there's 3 brand new cars now. I had a 4 and an engine change in the 4th car, this JR's car. So a lot of hard work and a lot of hours went into the shop. Really fortunate to have a lot of really good people working with us at ASD, and everyone put a lot of effort.
Here we are at Willow Springs, California, the Monday before Long Beach Grand Prix. On our first official test day, shakedown, suspension tuning, everything kind of all crammed into one day. Basically in the off season we took our old motor out, and we basically went from a 402 cubic inch LS platform up to a 427 cubic inch, and then went from 11-to-1 compression up to 13-to-1, which equates to, you know, an additional like 50 horsepower at the wheels.
The car feels like a completely different car. It changes directions way faster, and that's all a result of the new power plant, some tricks that ASD had up their sleeve, and us losing the weight out of the front of the motor, getting rid of the supercharger and the very large intercore that we had.
Coming to this facility also really helped us with a lot of our data collection. We do collect an awful lot of data. Everything from, we run infrared ride height sensors, watching suspension movement, mapping it on GPS, overlaying runs against one another, against different drivers, even more importantly the same car, between different runs and different changes. And the amount of data that's being collected nowadays is comparable to anything else we've ever done in professional motorsports, and we're in drifting. Competition gets more and more fierce every year. You know, the growth of Formula D has been terrific. I mean, if anyone looks back to 06, 07 and the quality of the car builds and the speed in which they're traveling in competition, it's like the growth has been more than any other motorsport I can think of, you know, off the top of my head. So it's just one of those things where as that continues to keep happening, we keep having to try and do our best to stay competitive. Fortunately, we were fortunate enough last year to finish on top in the championship, but there's a whole new season, and we have to keep trying to push the envelope.
We're going to go now. Give us another 3 seconds.
So we're out here in Charlotte, our first test with the Falken Drift team for 2011. This is my first time sitting in my new 350Z that ASD has been working on all off season. They just made huge improvements, mainly just off of the balance of the car. Last year my car was just a little nose heavy, and they'd done a lot of stuff to move some weight around as far as putting the radiator in the rear, just light years ahead of the car that we had last year. It is so fast. The transitions I can do now that the balance of the car is all sorted out are so quick. It's unreal to just get in this car and think of how aggressive I can be and how much grip I have.
Something we focused on a lot during the off season was the weight balance of the car with the new Formula D rules, and moved a lot of weight around in our cars, and really pleased with the results on how that worked out. It required a few different suspension setting changes, but I think all in all, we're in a better place than we even were last year.
I want to know if you can drift slower.
Just shaking it down today. We've got all brand new stuff in the car, so giving it a run, but things are looking really, really good. We've got a lot of things tried out today. We've a few improvements for this year. We've slightly more power, so all in all positives.
Well, I'm using the same curve from last year, so this year I feel more confident going to Long Beach, but because of Formula D regulation change, we have to change a lot of stuff to the car. So the car feels quite different, and you know, today is my first testing day, and then so far it's going pretty good, but we still have to do some more adjustment to make it better.
Yeah, I think the overall track conditions are pretty similar to what we'll be seeing at Long Beach. You know, there's a lot of different surface changes and rough bumps, and you know, a lot of stuff that you got to tune the chassis for. I feel that this is, you know, it's a good shakedown, and you know, the biggest thing is just getting Dye back in the car and getting him back into the swing of things.
I mean, some of our drivers haven't been in the car or in a car since Irwindale in October last year, so part of it's being coach and helping them get their head back in the game and understand what we're needing from them, you know, as far as what we're needing to do with making the cars work and work as well as they can. So, you know, we've spent the first probably hour and a half to 2 hours today just kind of getting back to where we left off, and then we can move forward for the rest of the day.
First day back, first couple laps was a little rough, trying to just get used to the car, especially with the new setup. With the Ford Racing Roush Yates 410 cubic inch sprint car motor, the entire chassis has been redeveloped. Throughout the testing, everything seemed to just kind of get better and better, and now at the end of day one, I mean, we got a pretty solid setup in the car. I think we're getting close to being ready for round one at Long Beach.
My style, so to speak, it was just nuts, 100%, and that's what got me where I am, really. But now I'm 26, it's time to start, you know, maybe taking a back seat and looking at it. You know, I mean, there's no substitute for experience in one sense, and then you don't get experience without being around for a while. You can't just be experienced as a young guy, so.
You know, here we are pretty much at the end of the day, the first test day, and I feel pretty good about it, that everything we did, you know, we basically got back, you know, a good 80–90% of what we had last year. So throughout the season and other test days, you know, we'll develop the car and it'll get, I don't see why it can't be just as good as it was last year.
You know, common sense tells you once you win a championship, keep the recipe, because it obviously worked well. All of our competition stepping it up, especially my other teammates, and this was our way of staying ahead of the curve and being proactive, and it really worked out. I mean, the results today, I am just thrilled. So I'm really, really excited to get out to Long Beach and defend that championship.
Yeah, this test has actually been probably the most beneficial test we've ever done as a team with Falken. The facility we came to is a flat area. Last year we tested at Lowe's Motor Speedway, a lot of undulation, and that sort of prevented us from learning some things with the cars unloading and loading a lot in suspension over the undulations on the infield. So we came to a very flat track. It allows us a lot more consistency, allows us to zero in a lot more on what we're doing with the chassis. Not so much fun for the drivers, but certainly a great amount of information came out of it going into the season, especially for tracks like Long Beach, notoriously not a lot of grip and quite flat. So it was a very, very beneficial test for us.
And when we get going, just go ahead and give us about 3 seconds before you take off, okay?